Hello friends, I am Hardik Patel. Welcome back to Django tutorial. In this video, I am going to talk about how to deploy a project which is developed in Django using Gunicorn, which is WSGI server, and Nginx, which is normal web server. So you all know all those technologies. I am just going to give you all the steps to develop to deploy that project. Okay, so in my case I have one project which is we are developing through this web series, that is employee management system. So I have virtual environment already created, but if you haven't, you just create virtual environment by yourself. That virtual how to create virtual environment, for that I have already created one video, so you can look at that. So I am just going through that quickly. Okay, so let me do that. So this command will make sure that Python virtual environment is installed or not. If it is not installed, then it will try to install again. Okay, so now in my case it is installed, so I will just create virtual environment using this command. So if you hit this command, it will create the folder here inside this EMS folder by name this env. So basically I don't want to create that inside this folder, I just want to create that virtual environment in the parent folder. So just hit the same command virtualenv-p python3 and venv. In my case I have already created virtual environment to make this video shorter, because it takes the time. It depends on internet access, right? So as you can see that env folder is already there, and I have also activated that to save the time. Okay, so now I just install all the dependencies, like just by navigating inside the folder and hit that command. And in my case all the dependencies are already installed, of course, because the same thing. Okay, now I'm going to check that project is working fine or not. Yes, as you can see, system check identified no issues. Now if I will see like this, it should work fine. Yeah, look at this, environment is proper, develop server is also started. Now I can check like this. So as you can see, everything is fine. Now let's go further. I am just stopping this. Now what I need to do, I just need to solve this application using Gunicorn, right? So we need to install Gunicorn, and Gunicorn is a Python package, so you just need to install the same package into the same virtual environment, like this pip install Gunicorn. Okay, so in my case it is already installed. So if it is not installed, this command will install the Gunicorn in this virtual environment. Okay, so by installing that Gunicorn binary will be available in your environment, which you can access. Okay, now what is the usage of that Gunicorn and the app module? So how can you pass the app module like this? Let me show you that. So the app name is EMS and then WSGI colon application, and you need to bind this to localhost colon 8000. Okay, so as you can see, the starting Gunicorn listening to this the same way it was doing earlier, but this time it is through Gunicorn. It is starting a worker and it is serving the same thing. Okay, now I'm stopping this because we never run this type of command directly into the shell. We should have one kind of script, and it should be running as a startup service. So we need to build two things. First, a script which we can execute, and inside that script we will provide so many variables, we can change that according to our requirements. Second, that configuration file which is required to run as a startup service. And for startup service we are going to use one more thing, that is supervisor. That is third technology we are involving in this, that is supervisor. So it's like a startup service which you can use. You just need to provide some configuration, it will automatically start the service when you restart the system, or it fails sometimes because of some reasons, then automatically it starts again. Okay, and also you will have the command like you can start the service and stop the service, right? So this is the basically the functionalities. So let's start creating script. So I'm not going to take much time to create the script, because I have already created that one and I have put that script inside this deployment folder. So it will be available to you through my GitHub repository, because I am going to push that to this github.com account. So as you can see that EMS Gunicorn service, right? So this is the service. In this case, what we need to do, we need to just give all the paths. Let's go through one by one very quickly. Name is equal to EMS, that the name of the application, as I have also put some comments here. Then Django project directory, that in my case that srv ems. We will communicate using this Unix socket. So what it does, this socket file, right now it's a variable, but that is used below. Here we have also created one more uh, variable, that is we have used here. We have created this directory, and then here you can see that is we have bind with that socket file. So through that socket file we are going to communicate with the Nginx. So basically this is the intermediator between Django application and Nginx. Okay, so this is the socket file. The path you can give anything, but just make sure that user has permission to create that. So whatever user you are trying to create, whatever user you are going to use to run the service. So in my case that user is Hardik, group is also Hardik, and I just need to make sure that run folder is available. I don't need to make sure that, but at least I just need to make sure that EMS folder should should have access to the Hardik user, right? So when I run this service, that run folder will be created automatically. Okay, now number of workers. So how many workers you want to run? Okay, so as you can see, how many worker processes should Gunicorn spawn, right? Then Django settings module, which is our ems.settings, and then WSGI module, both are there. So this is some normal uh, just echo, which when I start the service, that print will be there in the console. Then I am just navigating to the our project directory, and then I am just activating the environment. Then I am setting some path variable, environment variables. I am just checking that run directory is available or not. If it is not, then it will create that, as I mentioned here. Just make sure that it has the access. Then I need to execute this command. What it does, it actually runs the application. So as you can see that Gunicorn is available inside this env. So I have just given whole path. Then this is the WSGI module, which we did earlier directly in the command like ems.wsgi. The same thing is we have already provided here in the variable. Then application. Then just give all the names and workers if you want to provide. If you don't want to provide, it will by default takes one. Then users, group, and bind, and the log level. So all those things will be dynamic. If you want to change something inside this, you just need to play with here only. So this below part will be the same. Okay, so this is the service which we have created. Just make sure that it is working fine or not. So let me check that. So how can we check that? Just give the permission like this, chmod plus x. So it's execution permission service. Okay, so I have given the permission. Now I can check that. Okay, so starting EMS as Hardik. Now the same thing you can see here, right? We earlier saw that. Okay, now let's close this again. And now this is still we are running this service from the cell, but we don't want to do that. It should be running as a daemon, or you can say as a startup service, right? So for that you need to install supervisor. Okay, so in my system it is already installed. So just make sure that supervisor is also available inside your system. Okay, now when you install this, there are few configuration files will be created inside the etc here, like this. Okay, so what you need to do here, you need to copy your configuration file. Again, I have created that file, so I just need to explain that. So this is the ems Gunicorn supervisor.configuration file. Inside that you need to provide the program ems. You need to change that to something else because this name should not be available inside this your path. So as you can see, ems is a part of path, so you cannot give the program name ems. So I will give that ems service. Okay, now the path, you can see command that which we have created that service. So that is the service is our command. You just need to execute that. So srv ems deployment in ems Gunicorn service. Username should be the same, Hardik. Then this is the path, this is the standard log file which is going to be created when we run this service. So inside this ems, this logs folder must be there, because in this supervisor file will not create automatically, so you must create this logs folder. Okay, then redirect standard error true, so it will redirect all standard error to standard output. Then environment, which is the default language which we want, which we need right in the system. Okay, so this is the basic, you don't need to worry about those things while you are doing the first time, but you can definitely go through the official site of supervisor and you can look at the commands which are very expressive, so you can understand there, and just make sure to change that. Okay, so the service is ready. Now I just need to copy this configuration file to the proper path. So I'm just copying that deployment ems Gunicorn supervisor to etc supervisor conf.d and here. So it is not allowed directly copy to because it requires sudo. Okay, now that is copied. So now you need to just use, okay, before that I'll just create the logs directory. So where we need to do that, here itself logs. Okay, so that's done. That was very easy. Now I just need to hit command like this supervisor. Whenever you add something in the configuration file, you just need to update this. First it will update, so what it does, stop, remove process group, and then ems service. Actually this was the previous one which I created for just the experiment. Now as you can see, this ems service added process group. Okay, so that process is added to the group. Now what you need to do, you just need to reload this supervisor, so it will actually run this service. Restarted supervisor, right? So the daemon is ready, service is running. If you want to see that, just hit this command ps aux grep and then Gunicorn. So as you can see, there are two instances are running of the Gunicorn, right? So now your application is running and it is accessible through the Gunicorn. Now what we need is Nginx. Now we need to, this is still, it is serving this application through colon 8000 port. But what we need to do, we need to serve this application through Nginx and on the 80 port. So let's do that. First install that Nginx. Yeah, it is installed in my system. So as you can see, after installing, there will be few configurations. As you can see here, there are so many configurations are available inside the Nginx folder. You need to go into the site enabled. So what is there? You just need to remove this because this default is running on the 80 port. If you will see that, let me show that. Localhost. As you can see, welcome to Nginx. If you see this page, the Nginx web service is successfully installed and working. Now further configuration is required, so that's what we are going to do that. Okay, so first of all we are going to remove this from this. Actually this is just a shortcut. As you can see, this is just a soft link, so you can remove this default, and if you want to enable that again, you can definitely do that. So I will show you how to enable that. Okay, so I am removing this default, and now let me restart. It should stop that welcome page. Let me show that. Yeah, the site can't be reached. Okay, because that is stop. Now the same way the default was there, same way we need to put our own configuration there. I have also created the script for that, configuration file for that, that is EMS and Nginx. Okay, so let me explain what is this. First of all, that upstream server you have to create, that is upstream demo app server. You just change to your name, EMS server. I am just saying that, and just you need to put this line server and then Unix socket. So whichever path you have given in this configuration file, sorry, in this service file, this one, the same path you need to give there. So just copy from here and put here, because the same socket is going to be the medium for communication between these two, Nginx and Gunicorn. Okay, now just use this EMS server, and the server you need to write all the configuration as similar here. So you just need to copy this file, you just need to modify a few things. Access log, where you want to put the access logs, I am just going to change this to, so I am just actually change by using this srv then EMS, like this. Okay, is there any? No. So everywhere is changed. Now as you can see, the static files will be served from the Nginx itself. It will not go to the WSGI server, because those are very static files. We can serve directly uh, before going through that WSGI server. But other than these two, static file and media files, that means actual logic which we have implemented inside the Django application, which is going through the second part, that is location slash, and inside that we have put these lines, 3 lines. These are standard. You need to understand that by just going through the configuration which are provided inside the Nginx documentation. I am not going to explain that much, because I am just give you the way how to deploy the project. I am not going in expertise level. Okay, now you just need to check this request file name, otherwise you pass proxy pass. If you don't use this directly, you can also write like outside this if condition. So you need to pass here. As you can see, this is demo app server. Just put the function name which we have created above, that is EMS server, and just paste here. Okay, that's done. Now we need to just copy this file inside the site available first of all. So how we will do that? Sudo cp to etc nginx sites available. Here I am going to put, as you can see, it is copied. Now if you will see that nginx sites available, there. Okay, so I just made a mistake. I just copied this EMS Nginx file to the default, so I am not going to put this default. Okay, now there are two files, but anyways that default is overwritten by EMS Nginx. So now both the files are same, but we are just using this EMS Nginx for understanding purpose. Okay, now how we can activate this site, this Nginx configuration? You just need to make sure creating soft link. as I earlier shown, right? I earlier show. So ls, so the command for that ln-s, the s for soft link, and then you just need to provide first of all source and then destination. So what is the source? etc nginx site available, and that what is the name? ems, right? And you need to do the same thing. You just need to give the target there, nginx sites enable. Okay, so permission denied, so you need to just provide sudo. Now the link is ready. You just need to restart nginx, sudo service nginx restart. So server is restarted. Now let's check it out. The server is running fine or not. Let's refresh this. So it's a 502 bad gateway. Okay, so now let's check it out, the log. We have created logs here inside this logs folder. So as you can see, there is nginx error log is also there. You can tail that and you can check what is the problem. Okay, so that socket was not running. So what's the issue? Let's check it out. Okay, run folder is there, but that socket file is not created. Why is that? Let me check other. Okay, instead of doing that, we can check from here as well. So what we can do, the second thing, that is the actual file, actual path, that is, let me show you that. Localhost 8000, and this is the sock file. So we just don't need to create any file or something. You can just directly use this localhost 8000. Okay, so I'm binding with this localhost 8000, and the same thing I'm going to use here. Localhost 8000. Okay, but let me copy that file again. So that will be refreshed automatically, and also I need to refresh that Gunicorn, right? So EMS service is stopped and started again, and let me check that is it working fine or not. So we can check through this log. As you can see, that is running on 8000 again, so there is no issue in that. Now let's restart that nginx. Okay, let me check the error log. Let me refresh. Yes, this is working fine now. So the issue is the socket file is not created. I don't see the issue actually. Earlier I just tried the same thing, it was working fine, but the alter way is to use that port address, that localhost, right? So as you can see, what we did, just change this sock file and everything is working fine. So that is the benefit of the creating script. Okay, so that's how you can do that. I guess this video taken long time because of this normal issue. Now the server is running fine. So that's it from this video. I hope you have learned something from this, how to solve the issue. Maybe I have just failed somewhere, but still I just get covered from that, and I just running the project, right? So that's how you can do in your project as well, and that you will learn so many things while doing. Okay, so that's my hope you can understand. So if you have liked this video, please hit the like button and subscribe my channel, and also please share these videos with your friends so they can learn as well. So that's it. See you soon in the next video.